Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria, and I'm joined by my best friend and co host.
Miosha.
And we are back with Married at First Sight, a new season, season 19. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are going to be watching this season or not, just make sure you like this video,
Mm-hmm.
subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and meet us in the comments to let us know what your thoughts are. Okay, but before we get started, we do have to give a quick shout out
Mm-hmm.
to all of our new subscribers who came from It Takes Two.
Hey
And we
y'all.
want to we want to congratulate them on hitting 10K and
Mm-hmm.
thank them for shouting us out because that was so sweet and unexpected. So
I
thank you guys
know.
so much. Wishing you all more success on your channel.
Yep.
Um, all right, without further ado, let's get into maths. So before we talk about the couples, I want to know what you think about the new format. Like it, hate it.
Okay, so initially, I'll say I was like, oh gosh, here we go with them dropping all these multiple episodes at one time because that's obviously the Love is Blind format. And it's a lot, I think, as content creators to consume that much content and you're taking notes. So I was like, oh, here we go. However, it's been a breath of fresh air because the pace is so much quicker. I think they were listening to all of the commentary and feedback of let's just get to the point. The bachelorette stuff, we don't need to see. The dress shopping, we don't need to see. Just present the couples at the altar and let's get to it. And so I've been enjoying it. You?
I've also been enjoying it. When it first started, I will say they were showing a lot of small clips here and there, and I felt like the
Mm,
clips maybe went a little bit too long. So if I
okay.
had a critique, that would be it. But I am loving it. I also appreciate it, like later on, them letting us know, oh, the women have met before, and we didn't even have to see
Hmm.
much about their, interaction. It's not
Yeah,
necessary, you know. Okay,
it's
they know each other.
not.
Cool. Give us the
It
context. Keep it pushy.
Yes, because the most that would happen is maybe someone gets a little crazy, but it's nothing much to talk about, and they're just saying like, "Oh, it's just such a crazy process." We know y'all are here.
Right. That's why we watch. No, I'm just
Better y'all than us.
kidding. But yeah, I'm enjoying this new format for sure.
I
You guys
mean,
let us know in the comments too how you feel.
to be on episode 1 and we're already down basically two weddings or two couples. Also,
Mhm.
I like how they've merged the cast what do they call it? Like the cast reveal, get to know the cast or the matchmaking special. That's what they called it.
Yes, I did
How
love
they
that.
merged it because for us it was already a lot for us to last an entire season, let alone watch the first 2 to 3 episodes. So we would always
Yeah.
jump in after the matchmaking, and we know we would miss some details on what they claimed they were looking for. But I love how they show it all together or right
Mhm.
before they present the couple. So we're like, okay, we have a little bit of background, but it doesn't need to be 2 episodes.
And it feels so cohesive, like that we get everything about one couple and then their wedding, without
Hmm.
jumping from couples. I really enjoy that. What do you think about the difference in ages? Like this is the first time we have a couple of older couples, and we have
Yeah.
what do you
I,
think of that?
I appreciate it. I think it's nice to mix things up. I think it will present obviously different challenges because they've lived a lot more life, maybe. Also, I think we've been critical around some people's motivations for coming on this show after so many seasons. And so I would think, obviously, it's never 100%, that if you have been married and had children and have lived so much life, maybe you're not as into social media
Mhm.
that you would be coming on here for legit reasons. So I think it's been refreshing. I've enjoyed having the mix up in age. Now, I'm on the fence about how I feel about this mother daughter duo.
I was just about to ask that.
Okay. How do you feel about the ages though?
No, I like the ages. I
Okay.
think, it's just if we must throw a little something in there to spice it up, I think for me, the age differences and the mother-daughter thing, that'll
Hmm.
be enough for me. But in previous seasons where someone gets left at the altar and that's the drama, or
Hmm.
a cheating scandal, I think like those things while they spiced it up, maybe they spiced it up in the wrong way for its audience. Like this is more of like a
Mm,
wholesome edition, and it keeps us tuned in, and we want to see this type of a mix up. As far as the mother daughter thing, I think this particular mother daughter pair is a good one so far.
mm,
If if they were throwing in mother daughter pairs every season, I think that would be like an opportunity for the type of drama that we don't want to see. But I think these
mm.
particular people who they've selected, I'm okay with.
Yeah, they seem to have a healthy, loving dynamic. We don't want to see toxic, overbearing, controlling, or whatever from both sides, mother or daughter,
Like
scenarios.
Megan's mom. Imagine if Megan's mom was Megan is a contestant this season, but
Oh, yeah.
imagine if she was also getting paired. Like that is not what I would want to see.
I almost don't even want to see her in the scenes that she's already been
Cashing
on
in.
here. And we'll talk about that later, but I think I'm okay with it for now because it seems healthy.
Hmm.
Uh and yeah, I think we're still pretty early in the season, so still to
Yeah.
be determined as well.
And I really like Belinda. I think she strikes this good balance of letting my daughter be my daughter. And then, I have my own
Hmm.
life, I have my own thing going. So I
Hmm.
hope it continues to be that way, you know. If not,
Yeah.
then we'll have more thoughts. But you guys let us know all your thoughts about those things, the age difference, the mother-daughter pairing, the new format, because we'd love to chat with y'all about that. So,
Yep.
yeah,
All right.
now episode one.
Yeah. So we want to start with Jalen and Josh.
Let's do that. So
All right, I'll
Jalen is
pull up their picture.
27. Okay, she's 27. She's a realtor, and Josh is 31, and he owns a roofing company.
Hmm.
Initial thoughts on them?
Yeah, so because we have a little bit of the matchmaking,
Yeah.
it seems as though they have a lot in common in terms of what they're looking for. They both describe that they're looking for their romantic fairy tale ending,
Mhm.
um, which, I always kind of pause when people describe what they're looking for in that way in terms of marriage.
Yeah.
I think we could agree that relationships should have some romance and maybe a bit of fairy tale-ness to it, but it's not going to be all of it.
Yeah. Can I
Um,
jump in here and just say specifically for Jalen, she said she takes everything she's looking for from reality TV and rom-coms. And I said, girl, be for real.
she also says that she's willing to do anything for love. I said, girl, not anything.
Yeah.
I hope that was just a figure of speech.
I hope so too. But she's saying that she's interested in marriage because she wants to have kids by 30 and she feels like this is her window. And I get it. I get what she's saying. Like, you don't want to take your time. Like, you don't want to waste your time. Like, if this is something that you're interested in, why not pursue it? And so I'm with her on that. I will also just, of course, want her to know if it doesn't happen by 30, it's okay in
Yeah.
2025 or in 2024, which is when they got married. But yeah.
Yeah. And then for Josh, he describes himself as not being materialistic, says that he comes from a humble background. He's also looking for this fairy tale ending.
Mhm.
And so from both of them, I get initially genuinely looking for love. That's my first
Mhm.
thoughts on them as a pairing.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't see anything alarming with them except the
Mm-mm.
fairy tale thing, which,
Yeah.
everybody wants love, and has
Yeah.
their own perspective of it. So, all right, so Josh was raised by his grandparents and he comes from a humble background. So his mom was in prison. He didn't know his dad. He just met his dad and they text each other every day, which I thought was
Hmm.
a really sweet story. Jalen, she has a twin brother. Her parents were high school sweethearts, but they were never in love, she said. Like she never got to see that lovey-dovey dynamic between them. So that's just a little bit about their background.
Yeah. So then I guess we could fast forward to the wedding day.
Hmm.
Josh says that neither one of his parents are there. His mom is not there. because of some personal reasons. Maybe he just didn't feel comfortable with her being there. And then his dad, he says he just doesn't know him enough at this point to feel comfortable including him in the day. So,
His grandma is there.
and his grandparents are there. Yeah,
Yeah.
his grandparents are there. So
So
he does have support. Jalen, all of her families are her. I think she has two siblings. She has a twin and then another
yes, another
brother.
brother.
Okay.
Hmm.
Both of her parents are there. And so I think
Her
they
dad was
actually,
good looking. I was like, okay, dad. Like both of her parents are good looking.
yes. Jalen reminds me of this YouTuber. I can't remember her name, but they have the same face. If I could think of it, I'll tell you.
Okay.
But
Well,
every
if y'all
time I see
think
her,
about it, let us know. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, so they exchange gifts. I think she gives him pom poms and the pickleboard paddles, I believe. Do you remember?
No idea.
Oh, okay. And then I think he gives her, was it the Burning Man tickets or something like that?
I can't wait till we talk about that later.
Yeah, so they exchange gifts. He gets choked up, and it seems like he's very comfortable showing his emotions, which I think is
Mhm.
a good thing. We can fast forward to the altar. I don't have much from them getting
I
dressed.
don't know if this is going to come up later on, but Jalen
Mm.
talked about her past experiences. She had an ex who she had broken up with,
Oh
and
yeah.
then she moved on to another relationship, and then that ex passed away, and she just wasn't in a good space. And the new relationship, like he was cheating on her. So it sounds like she hasn't had the best of luck or the most positive experiences with love, and I wonder if that might show up at some point this season. So just wanted to
Did
throw that in there.
I feel like we heard more about his childhood background than his dating experience. Did you
We
write that?
didn't hear about his dating
Okay.
experience,
Same.
just that his grandma, I guess, is ready for him to start
Okay.
looking for somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So what she comes down the aisle, and you could
Mm-hmm.
tell that he was in awe of her.
Mm-hmm. And
She
she's
liked what she
beautiful.
saw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I took a screenshot of this. Let me see if I'll find it.
Yeah.
But his
He
like
was
jaw
like
dropped.
he almost fell back. He was so taken aback. Whoa, she's a beauty.
Yeah.
But he's clearly happy with what he sees. I say that they're both smiling a lot. They have good energy. You can tell there's a little bit of nerves there, but it's not awkward,
Overwhelming, yeah.
or yeah, overwhelming at all. And so they exchanged their vows. I didn't have anything that stood out there.
Yeah.
Um, and I think she said, like, oh, she felt, and when they went back for their scene just together, she
Mhm.
says, we're off to a good start. It's possible we can last forever. And she said that she appreciated his eye contact, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff I have is just quick stuff from the reception. So,
Mm-hmm.
she was talking to her girls, let them know she was very interested in him. She was open to the physical. And then on his
Mm-hmm.
end, he thanks her parents, and they thought that he was genuine and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked for advice on, okay, how do I not scare her, scare
Mm-hmm.
her away? So yeah, I put that I like Josh's authentic reactions. So when Belinda
Mm-hmm.
said, I'm getting married tomorrow, and I'll also be married at first sight. It's
What?
like,
He
it's
was
like,
not acting.
you know how the cartoons overreact, but that's him naturally reacting. That's how he.
But imagine he went to the guys' meetup not knowing that he would have met her
His,
future husband, or
yeah.
his future father-in-law, or however.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say that. Yeah.
Anyway, that's
Uh,
all that I have on them. We can move on to Brittany and Will if you're good.
yeah, let me pull up their
Episode
picture.
one.
You can go
Okay.
ahead and go.
What do you think about this couple in general? So Brittany is 29 and she's in HR. Will is 30. He's a tech consultant.
Yeah, so initially when the experts start describing them, so they said they can see them both pulling from each other. She's already at a certain place in her life, and it feels like it's the next step for him.
Mhm.
I think to sum up what I heard, these two were opposites according to the
Hmm.
experts, and that they could be pulling from each other
Okay,
and
I
that
didn't put it
they
as
would work.
opposite.
Okay.
Now, of course, later on, thoughts changed, but it seemed like they felt they were both really mature and looking for
Mm,
this to be their next step. They highlighted that, she's looking for somebody who's ambitious and committed, has a good job. I think she said those things. And he was looking for
mm-hmm,
someone who's fun, who's intelligent. Like she loves to read. So
mm-hmm,
and she seems, from what we've seen of her, like pretty intelligent and someone who speaks their mind. So I think what the experts were trying to say was like there's a level of intelligence that both of them have. They're both like heady people. I think they specifically described Will in that way, and they
mm,
thought that that might lead to a good emotional connection.
mm. Okay, I got that they would pull from each other or help each other in ways where maybe the other isn't as robust. I don't know.
Mm, yeah,
That's
I
what I
think so.
meant.
Like with the intelligence thing, I think she's intelligent, but maybe she seems more outgoing than he does. But that was the only
Okay.
thing that, so whereas he might be intelligent and it's very
Mm-hmm.
petty, like if she also has the maybe social aspect. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
so then they have the wedding, and her mom
Mm-hmm.
is very pretty. She's very pretty too. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they are good looking individuals, her and
Mm-hmm.
Will. So
Oh, one thing about her, she also said that her relationships have never made it past 3 months. And then we hear a little bit more information later on, like the pace or the quickness of which she typically moves.
mhm,
And so for me, I was like, oh, 3 months sounds like a short period of time, but maybe not if you've been talking to that person for a while. Like there could be like a gray area. I don't know. But then we find out more about what she means by like how quick she moves. Like she would meet them, we're together within a week, and
mhm.
then, before the 3 month mark, we're typically over. I would describe that as more dating, but
Yeah,
but
maybe, but
I think for her, if you're exclusive, then
and I don't even see that as a negative thing. Like if you know this isn't going to work or it's not going to fulfill you, better 3 months than 3 years.
Oh yeah, it's better to get out of it. But I think when she first described it, I didn't think anything of it until she was like, "Oh, I would meet this person and within a week, like we're already exclusive, we're already together." Whereas it's like, yeah, you could be talking for a couple months and then you start dating. It's like you would have the timelines get blurred based off, I guess, when you become exclusive. So.
Okay, fair, fair. All right. So things on the wedding.
Yeah, so she described, she was like, "Oh, I hope he has muscles I can hold on to and eyes that I can gaze into." I'm like, girl, this is married at first sight. You're leaving it up to these experts. I mean, well, we know before she sees him, he's a nice looking guy and
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
taller than her. So I knew she'd probably like the way he looked physically, but I'm like, oh, don't
Speak.
lean too much on the physical because this is maths.
Yeah, and speaking of liking what he looked like, her cousins, and her friends' reactions when he came out had me cracking up. I'm like, okay, y'all simmer down. Like, you can feel that way, but don't put too much on it now.
Speaking of friends, so when he was interacting with his guys or cousins, whoever they were in the men's room, I thought he was pretty outgoing. Now, granted, these are his friends, so I don't know. He seemed outgoing. I wrote he likes to use big words in quotes. Y'all on the podcast can't see me, but putting quotes in the air. But I got that he was not quiet or shy or reserved in those interactions. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and the experts only see so much too, so that could have just been,
Yeah.
yeah, they can only go off of what he showed them. Okay,
Mhm.
so I couldn't fully get a read on him when she came down the aisle. I was like,
No.
do they like her? Do they not like her? Like, what's going
So so she walks down. I wrote initially like calm energy. Everyone doesn't have to be loud and doing the most at the altar. I don't think that that means that you're not into it or you don't like that person. So I
on?
initially wrote calm, but then I wrote it's very awkward.
Because there's only so much you can give somebody, right? And I felt like with you saying, okay, it's calm rather than offensive. yeah, let's give him that. But then as it progressed, it was just different. Whole time he had makeup on he had that lipstick on his face. I was like,
I
oh
don't
no.
even want to talk about it.
I said, I hope somebody sees it and is able to get it off, like a tie to go pen or something. But anyway,
None of the producers thought to wipe that off.
nobody.
But anyway, so I wrote calm, then it gets awkward. You know, he asks for a kiss and she says yes.
Hmm.
She says, "Oh, you're handsome." He says, "You're stunning." Um, I don't know. After this altar scene, I'm not sure if either one of them. I don't. It's between they're just calm and they're taking it all in,
Hmm.
or they're like, they have pause about
Hmm.
what they see, so they don't want to give too much. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what it is after the altar.
Yeah, it was a little awkward for me. So when they got to the scene where they were just by themselves, they sat down. I thought there was some like quiet flirting, like
Hmm.
trying to feel each other's energy. And so I'm like, okay, maybe we're gaining some momentum here. He said something like, "Well, I don't believe in love at first sight, but she definitely has my eye." So I want to say I think they find each other beautiful, handsome.
So, and this is where because we don't know him as a person, the it's hard because the words he's saying all the right things, but it's something about his energy
That's
where I'm not quite convinced. And I don't know. Now you know how we always say like whatever you're coming off of the heels of, you may be keeping that in mind. So I don't know. I'm not thinking about Josh, but his reaction was so
oh yeah, I'm not thinking about Josh at all.
genuine that it's like, okay, well, am I being too critical of Will? I don't know. Y'all tell us in the comments. Nothing about Will's energy gave the words that he was saying.
I could tell you now. Well, okay, I couldn't, but I would be willing to bet that people are feeling the same way we're feeling. Like I'm willing to give him a benefit of the doubt, right? Like and understanding if he is more introverted, which we don't know, but if he is
Yeah.
that way, this could be a lot, even though he signed up for it, and so I don't fully want to lean into that. But you have such a gorgeous woman um, in front of you.
And that's the thing. He's saying all the right things. Oh, she has my eye. Oh, she's stunning.
Beautiful.
I think this is a thing where we're just using our woman's intuition of something may not be adding up here.
I think it just doesn't seem like either one of them is sold on it yet. Okay,
And
here's
yeah, with
where,
her too. She's just like, okay.
but I don't know that I would expect her to be. Feels like they're just filling each other out. But
Like
when
neither one wants to do too much, but she did say, and this is maybe at the reception about, well, what are you looking forward to in the evening?
So that was what I was about to say. And for me, he was like, I'm looking forward to sleeping. I'm a sleepy girl. I am. I'm always
You
looking
are.
forward to sleep. I am guilty. I am always looking forward to sleep. But I think I can read a room enough to know that if a new significant other on my wedding like is saying, "Hey, what are you looking forward?" is asking, "What are you looking forward to the most later?" Oh, just like being able to get some rest and get to know you like without all the busyness. Like you have to. And so I put down here, I think he might be introverted and a little awkward, but I need him to make like Soldier Boy and turn his swag on. Like I need
Or
him
yeah, at least like yeah, we're all tired. It's clearly
act
your
like you have
wedding
somebody
day.
to impress.
Yeah. He's just like, "Oh, I'm here." She says she's open to more than sleep. So then I said, "Okay, well, there's clearly interest on her end."
Yeah.
Yeah. At
You
least
know,
physical. At least physical. That's all we
at least
can.
physical.
Yeah.
All right. Can we talk about Will's conversation with her parents? I don't know that Will reads rooms well already.
Yeah. So he goes to talk to her parents, and immediately, at least from what we see,
Yeah.
the talk of religion comes up. He asks, "Are you a believer in God?" He shares that he's agnostic. And the look on her parents' faces is just like, okay. And then he follows it up with going into why. But
Yes.
then no, then the parents I think ask, well, what about your people? What about your parents? Are
No,
they at
even
least?
before then he goes in
Oh, he
because
goes in. Okay.
he talks about, he went to Christian and
Oh
Catholic
yeah.
school his whole life, but he considers himself agnostic. And then the dad was like, okay, well, are you at least spiritual or religious or
Yeah.
something like that? Um, and then he says, like,
Then the
even if you're
parents.
not, what about your parents? And then Will starts going into the the great schism of 1040. He took me back to seminary. Okay. I'm like, I'm sorry, am I in my history of Christianity class right now? But the part that made me laugh was like, after all of that clearly just didn't go the way the dad
Mhm.
expected. He was really trying to find a point of connection. And he said, well, do you play dominoes? Like,
Like, do you do something we can talk about?
I mean, what do we have in common, son?
I think he said no, but he could play spades or something. I don't know. I feel like he just got diarrhea of the mouth in that moment. I didn't expect him to lie about what his beliefs are. If you're agnostic, stand on that, but read the room enough to know that less is more. This is her parents' first impression of you. It almost gave like, even though he was just describing why this is his decision, you don't need to explain yourself. It was almost like he was schooling them a bit. Like, I don't know, these are still her parents, your elders. Just say your position in terms of what you believe and leave it at that. I don't know.
And for elders, I think they handled it very well, like to continue to try to find points of connection and get
You
to
like
know him.
sports?
I
You
thought
watch
was very
football?
sweet. Yeah, I thought it was very, um, the parents were very classy, I think, in
What do
their,
you think about the dad saying to him after all of that, well, Brittany is a strong woman. Can you handle it? You're going to have to be strong too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think he was trying, based on my notes, I think
Hmm.
he was trying to gauge his commitment
Okay.
because he said something like, I don't know, he said something that led me to write down that he wants to make sure he's in it. It was
Okay.
something to the effect of, like you can't just leave or like if
Hmm.
there's something, you're not interested in. I don't know. I have feelings about the whole strong woman thing, but I know her dad meant it in a positive way and just meant like she has her own life, she has her own thing, she has her own opinions, her own outlook on life, and
Hmm.
she's not somebody who's just going to kowtow to your way of
Hmm.
thinking.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know that I would have said that if I were the family member, who was meeting him.
Yeah. Also, with the whole religion thing, I wonder what Brittany is as far as religious
That's what I
beliefs.
said.
Because
Yeah.
I walked away thinking, like, okay, this was a lot of time spent on that. This was one of the first things that came up. So, what is she? Does her parents know? Uh,
And what
I'd
do
love
the
to.
experts know?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was all I had on episode
Yeah.
one.
Episode 2.
Okay.
Look at
All
that.
right. All right. So, we can go to Megan and Derek.
Megan with 2 N's. And she is 37 and a realtor, but she also works in her family's business. And Derek, who is 38, he's a COO of a health and wellness business. On that picture, she kind of looks like Nikki Hilton, Paris Hilton's sister.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know what she looked like, but okay.
Okay,
I
so
know who Paris Hilton is. I don't know about Nikki.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Megan talks about how she doesn't usually put herself out there and she's trying to find balance in her life. She says she feels like she's just surviving when she would like to be thriving. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Usually the balance thing that she said would make me think, okay, don't be on this show. But she feels like she'd do best in a culture of arranged marriage. And so I didn't want to write her off completely because she said that her life is, or she's trying to find balance in life.
Yeah. And so my initial thoughts were, she also shares that she works in her family's
Hmm.
business. My thoughts are Megan at least says out of her mouth that she's a person who would seek for other people to be in control. Like, even with such a big decision as marriage. And then once I saw like her mom, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Girl, your mom looked like she would be more than happy to pick your spouse. But she says that she wouldn't mind someone else picking that person. She says that she hasn't had good work life balance, but also that, she's more of a homebody. And when
And
she
she's
does
looking for an
have,
extrovert to pull her out of her
yeah,
comfort zone. I don't
like
know. I
she,
said, do I, while she's saying those things, I don't know that her vibe gave off those things. And so for me, Megan is a little bit of a question mark. She seems like a great person, but I just don't know if she is clear on what she wants. I think she was the one who said that she hasn't been in a relationship for 8 years or in
it was
8 years.
7 years, yeah.
7? Okay.
Hmm.
And so I just wonder, sometimes you know who you are um individually, and
Hmm.
you can maybe forecast what you would want in a partner, but with so many years between your last experience and now, maybe what you think you want doesn't necessarily complement you who you are and your personality.
That's why I said the things that are coming out of her mouth, like she says,
It's given Will. Will's
yeah,
been
like,
maybe they are
but
the same person.
yeah, but then some other things, I don't know, it's not adding up. But either way, Derek, he's well traveled, but dating has been pretty superficial for him. It sounds like he's been moving all over. My initial takeaway is on the surface they'll have a lot in common. Same age. They're both into health and wellness. I think they would look good on paper, but in terms of personality and just lifestyle setup, I already was like, I'm not sure about
Mhm.
this. Yeah.
What about lifestyle? Because he seemed to be moving all over the place, and she was.
Yeah, he seemed to be moving, which I
Mhm.
don't think is an issue. But she seems to be pretty stable and entrenched within her family.
Okay, I thought he
And
was ready to be stable now
I
in
I
Austin
think he's ready to be stable. I don't know if he's ready to be stable within her whole family
with
setup
in-laws.
and
Okay.
what that means. Like, I think if she was a more independent person, not in terms of finances, but
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
in
yeah.
the way she's navigating her life,
Yeah.
I think that would gel with him more because he seems to be very independent. Like the person who's like, I'm gonna pick up and move here and do this and do this, that's, I think, pretty different than the person who's, kind of wrapped up in their family business. And as she
Yeah.
said, it's been hard to establish clear boundaries between, being mom and dad and being boss and,
Mm-hmm.
naturally all of what comes with having
Working.
that type of setup. And I'm not saying it's bad. I just think that it's pretty different than what he's experienced so
Yeah.
far.
Depending on the characters at play, which her mom seems very vocal. You know what
Yeah.
we also didn't see this season that I'm okay with? The
Mm.
breakfast after with the families. You know how the day after they usually
Oh,
have
yeah, yeah, yeah. But some
family.
of those were good though. I
Some of those
feel
were interesting. I'm not gonna
yeah.
lie, but
Yeah.
I miss it enough for them to bring it back? No.
And in fact, if you hadn't brought it up, I wouldn't have even thought about it.
Exactly. I just thought about it after watching 4 episodes. I didn't think about that once.
Oh, waste of time.
Okay. But Megan
Yeah.
says that her mom wants her to go the traditional route. And I mean, she didn't even have to say this. Her mom was stating divorce stats on her wedding day. And I put down her mom must be a handful to work with.
A handful. And when she said it's been hard to establish boundaries, even something as simple as when she was talking about having kids and she was saying how, oh, I would want to have one and I hope that it's a boy. She was like, oh, well, I would prefer it be a girl.
Okay. Thanks for your
Okay.
input.
Yeah. So I'm, I don't want to sound as though I don't think families should be close, but I think with this dynamic, I don't know. It's the blurring of the boundaries. I think her mom is a very vocal figure in her life. And by proxy, I think whoever comes into her life, I think would almost have to be a bit either be accepting of it, or Megan would have to really
Yeah.
lay down some clear boundaries.
And it seems like she's at the beginning of that. Like she became a realtor so that she could separate herself a little bit more. She has this
Mm-hmm.
life coach. And so I I'm rooting for Megan. Do I don't know how optimistic I am about her being in this process, but as a person I can see her trying to like get from under her,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Oh yeah.
family's claws or her mom's claws and do her own thing, become her own person. So
Yes.
anyway,
So he gives her a ring box and she gives him an ice bath, and he actually does it.
better than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, the weather is like very gloomy. And so as the sleepy girl that I am, I would love to.
You want to jump to the altar? Because I don't have anything else from them getting dressed.
uh yeah, so I noticed, she walked herself down the aisle, something with her dad, skin cancer, but her mom was right there. So
But her mom also
as she told
doesn't,
you. Yeah.
yeah, want to be a part of the process. I mean, she's throwing daggers with her eyes.
Did you write that down? I wrote it down.
Yes.
I said the way the mom was. Okay, I thought
I
the
don't
life.
know. Part of me,
Mhm.
it would have sucked to not have the support there.
Yeah.
But if it were my mother, I would have been like, listen, you're going to be on international television forever. If you cannot show up and
You better
have some
take it.
semblance of neutrality or support, then I think you may just need to sit this one out. Since she was going to walk herself down the aisle anyways, her mom showed up just to give dirty looks.
And she did look cute. The mom
Oh
was
yeah,
cute.
she looks good.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. I thought the life coach thing was interesting. I'm not a therapist, so take what I'm about to
Yeah.
say with a grain of salt. But it maybe felt like the life coach was the support or offered the support that she wished a mom would offer in that time. And so it made me feel a little uneasy
Yeah.
and sad for her. But yeah.
So
Okay.
we get to the altar, and for me immediately it's awkward. He walks out. Now, granted, her mom was sitting there probably still throwing daggers at this man with her eyes, but he doesn't speak to anyone. He's just awkwardly standing there. I think
Hmm.
we're used to seeing the grooms at least say, "Hi, how you doing?" or say something while they're waiting there. So it is awkward, but it's his first time doing this, so it's nothing against him. She walks down smiling, but I didn't get much eye contact. I'm like, maybe it's sunny outside, but it's very awkward for me
Okay.
the entire time. She has her hands on her hips. I'm just like, what is going on here?
I don't now I need to go back and watch it. I didn't feel it was
she
awkward.
she had her hands on her
I
hips
did notice that though.
the entire time, and for me, he says, "Oh, you look beautiful," but I wrote that he barely smiled.
Hmm.
It's giving awkward, but
Hang
I
on,
think
what
he
did you
likes what he sees.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I thought they seemed very attracted to one another. Um, she said she was relieved, couldn't ask for a better outcome. He said 10 out of 10. She's insanely hot. Um,
I agree. I think they both think they're insanely hot. I think the energy is still awkward.
okay. I thought it was a good match initially, based
Okay.
based off of the wedding.
Okay.
So,
So we'll get to the reception.
yes.
He says he feels the chemistry. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
wasn't.
y'all let us know because as you're talking, I'm like, was I falling asleep when I was watching this? But I wasn't. So I just
I
have,
felt like they were. Maybe it was her hands on her hips. Even when she sat down, she wouldn't. Her hands were on her hips almost throughout the wedding, the altar scene, the
yes.
reception. Is
Maybe
she?
she didn't know what to do with her hands. Maybe that's just how she's comfortable standing and sitting at all times with her hands on her hips.
Okay.
Okay, so at the reception, the one thing that I wrote down was how big of a deal their different tastes in music seem to be for her. So she mentioned how, usually they're going to concerts, and every birthday they go to this big concert in Cabo, is it?
It was somewhere, I don't know.
Okay,
For
somewhere.
her birthday, yeah.
Yeah, and so she said that they're usually country music concerts. And then he said something about how he likes EDM. And
Hmm.
she thought that was just such a big deal. As a music lover, I don't know that I've ever seen someone's different taste in music be such a deal breaker. So y'all can let me know. Is that
So I think it's not the actual music itself. I think it's the vibe and what and how people associate people with different music genres. So him being so new in Austin, I mean, he may come around to country music, you know. It's an abundance of that there. Like he's only been there 6 months to a year, or he may never. I don't
she's
know.
gonna have to at least once a year for her birthday
At
because
least. And so what something that she said to her friends or sisters, whoever it was, where she was like, "Oh, he likes EDM," and like, what does that mean? That he's tripping out on acid? I think it's what people
associate.
associate in terms
Mhm.
of behaviors with these different music genres. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but at the same time, if I had to be with someone who was really into a certain type of music and insist on playing that when we're in the car together, I don't know.
That is so interesting to me, but I don't know. Y'all let me know. It could also be because I listen to different
Hmm.
types of music, so it doesn't feel like
He need to give Cowboy Carter a try.
I don't. You wouldn't even like Cowboy Carter.
He claimed he don't like country music.
Anyway,
Anyways,
I
um,
said, why would her mom tell his mom if they're still together? If they're
she's out
still
of
married in
control.
6 months, you'll come visit us.
She's out of control. The fact that she actually said it to those
Who?
people to their face told me she's out of control. She can't be tamed. Megan
No.
can't do anything with her. And like you said, she's at the beginning of her journey in terms of separating herself. And she got a long way to go. And whoever gets with her, they're gonna have to be ready for the ride.
Yeah, they will. Okay,
Mhm.
so he meets her mom. She's obviously not a fan of the process and tells him straight up that she doesn't like it and thinks it's more to picking your partner than just letting someone else do it. Yeah, and I'm sure her words are wise as someone who's been married for a long time, who picked her own partner. So I think, just her experience. I think if she hadn't had such a had if she hadn't had been such a negative presence on the day,
Mhm.
maybe we would take what she said more seriously because she does have, the experience.
And I will say, I think she's not she doesn't have anything against him.
Right.
I think she's more just upset at the process that her daughter actually went through something that she tried for months to talk her out of.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a control thing
This isn't how I
than
wanted it to be.
right. And he is just so happens to be the person that's right there.
Mm,
So,
okay, fair. All right, and then they go to the suite at night, and she says to the producer, "Did you see his abs?" So she really likes what he looks like physically. I said, "Okay, Megan." But yeah,
mm,
that's all I have on them. If that
yeah.
Okay, Rhonda and Pat.
All right.
Rhonda is 63 and Pat is maybe
He's
57,
59.
59. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't write that down. All right, and so he said he's done a few things that have scared him, but they were worth it. And life is short, so why not let the experts match you? He was married for 30 years,
Hmm.
and I had put down, I'd love to find out why it didn't work, but then he said, oh, well, she wasn't willing to be physical with him the way that he wanted.
The way that he described it was like, I checked out long before. I was just like, dang. I mean, obviously we don't know these people, but the way he described it, I was like, dang, I kind of feel bad for her. I don't know.
The ex wife?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously I wasn't there. It was just the way he described it of like, let's just get through raising these kids. I don't know.
He
But I
can,
could appreciate him being honest and direct around
yeah.
why it ended. So,
I think he concerns me just because he was married for 30 years and he's been single for 3, which reminds me, one
mhm.
thing about men, they're gonna get out there and find somebody. But I hope that his expectations of this marriage won't be what he was in for 30 years and that he really is open to he's gonna have to be because of who he's paired up with. But
Well, it may work out for him because Rhonda says she's looking for great sex. But either way, for her, she's been married before twice.
yeah.
Once to her first husband, who she had 4 kids with. She
Hmm.
ended up being a single mom, was only married for 9 years during that one. And then the second one, I feel
9.
like it was while her kids were still younger
That's what I am assuming as well.
because she mentioned something about after a while she missed the whole family, 2 parent household dynamic for her kids. But
Hmm.
it sounds as though, well, we know it only lasted 18 months. So the majority of time she was by herself raising her kids. Um, I wrote initially, she
Oh,
has a lot of energy.
yeah. Sorry. She had mentioned that she hadn't been married in 25 years. And
Okay.
so then I think that would put her at her late 30s when her last divorce
Hmm.
happened. So yeah, so she spent
Yes.
a lot of her life unmarried.
Hmm. Yes. So my initial thoughts is she's high energy, but he claims to be looking for someone with a lot of energy and
Mhm.
spunk. She the same is looking for someone adventurous and young at heart. They're both active.
Yeah.
I wrote, I think they're saying a lot of things in the way that they present. I think that they could be a good pairing,
Hmm.
while at the same time, I don't know, there's some attributes about both of them where I'm just like, I don't know if this is going to be practical.
Because I don't think she's gonna take any mess. Like I think she's
No.
gonna be very uh, vocal about things, and I think for him, I wonder if he'd be willing to stay in something like I wonder if he'd repeat the same pattern,
Mm,
where he would stay for a little bit and be unhappy, or maybe he's just like in the last 3 years become accustomed to being alone and
mm.
there are specific things that he wants his spouse to fulfill. And if she tends not to fulfill them, I'm gonna
Think he's out.
try
Yeah.
again. I don't know. It could go
And
either way.
and what does that look like as, you age, I don't know. I guess ultimately it would just depend on like the level of importance
Mm-hmm.
that aspect is for him.
Because your
Uh,
patience is not. I mean, I feel like the older you get, your patience is just okay. I don't have to put up with it. I've lived enough life to know that I don't have to put up with this, and I could reinvent
mhm.
myself in 6 months and over. So,
So, her kids also describe her as being a lot and that it's very much her way or the highway. And so, my initial thoughts are, I guess, from the parent child perspective, like, yes, while you're growing up, it probably is a lot of her way or no way. And I can't even imagine raising 4 kids by myself and just how things would just have to be for you to navigate through each day and each season. At the same time, her children look to be older in their late 20s, potentially
on their
30s.
own for sure.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've been children. And so, why are they still describing her as that way, for them being so far into adulthood?
And it seemed like it was her oldest son who was speaking in that way. He was like, "I'm just concerned because sometimes you can be intense, and it's your way or the
Hmm.
highway." Something
Yeah.
that Pat said, he
Hmm.
said people his age don't want to commit. And I found that very interesting because I don't know that I would have ever assumed that. So I'm
I
wondering,
would. I've actually heard that from a few older people, like over
hmm,
55, like because they've done the whole marriage, kids, being with
hmm,
one person, they don't see the need or significance to really
do that
lock
all over.
in. Yeah, it's like, well, I'm already over halfway through life. Like if the average person lives to 75,
Mm-hmm.
They also have a lot of fulfillment if they have children and grandchildren. They may feel like I have a lot of the components of my own life, and it may be more of a hassle
Mm-hmm.
to make the sacrifices needed in order to partner long term with
Mm-hmm.
someone again. So
Yeah, because
it's
he
not
said,
impossible to find, but I have heard a lot of people like, I'm not getting married again. I'm not
yeah.
merging my life again. I already have the headache of breaking all that up, you know.
Mm, that
So
makes sense. It also made me think about how much of his life he wants to preserve and how willing he is to bend in order for that commitment to be a possibility. Because I wonder if he also, like, even though he wants to commit, just practically, like you said, he has certain things that he's comfortable with and maybe isn't.
mhm.
But again, he's only been single for 3 years, so maybe he doesn't fall into that category. Or yeah, maybe that's why he does want to commit before it's like 10, 12 years down the line.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, at what point? Because he would have had to apply for this process. So, at what point did he realize, like, oh, I seriously want to be in another long term,
Relationship.
relationship? So, okay.
Uh-huh. Well, I liked her red dress. His mom, Betty, was there. I don't have
Hmm.
much on their wedding. I thought it was really cute. He seemed to
Yeah,
like the red dress.
they both walk out smiling. They immediately hug, I
Mhm.
believe. I, to me, they seemed very comfortable with each other.
She seemed very comfortable because they said something at the altar about look into each other's eyes, and she was all up on him. I said, okay.
I mean, to me, he was going along with it.
Yeah,
Like
he didn't mind it.
yeah, like she's obviously maybe the more outgoing one of the two. I wouldn't
Yeah,
describe him as
yeah,
shy
he's
or introverted,
dramatic.
but she's even more. And so they hug even after her vows. So I get that they're both obviously liking what they see. They share a big long kiss.
These two are a little hot to try.
Very fresh.
Very
Can't wait.
fresh.
But I it, well, from what we knew of her while getting prepared is what he received at the altar.
Yeah, she's herself.
She's
She
herself.
said Rhonda's a little wild thing, isn't she? Okay, Rhonda.
Little.
And he said she's smoking hot with a bubbling personality. And she said he's epic, which I've seen just some people like, memes and comments here and there
Hmm.
saying stuff like, oh, we like that. There's no censor. Because, when it was on Lifetime, there
Oh
was certain
yeah,
things you couldn't say. But Peacock, you could say it
yeah.
all. Okay. I question what happens after 8 weeks because he said that he lives with his mom, and I imagine she has
Mhm.
her own home. And so, yeah, like, do they move in with his mom? Does he move in to live with her? Is his mom going to be okay? So I think at some point down the line, that's a conversation that'll come up.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think she's gonna have to find out more on what that situation is.
Hmm. Right.
Um, yeah.
Okay. Overall conversation went well. She forgot his name at the end of the
She
night.
also had him skipping around the dance floor, no shoes on.
Yeah.
She's a lot. Now, I'm not saying she needs to simmer down or that she needs to change who she is. I just wonder if this is going to mesh well with him.
Yeah.
Even after the wedding, I get that like he's on board and he's enjoying the energy of like
Jumping
her
in.
being like, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But is there a point at which he's like, okay, this is just too much?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, oh,
Well,
and they jump in the pool at the
yeah.
end.
I think for me, I said if Rhonda's optimistic, I'm gonna ride with her and I'll be optimistic too. She said this is gonna be the best love story ever. I'm like, yes, it is, Miss Rhonda. The best love story ever. I don't care what anybody says. So then, so then we see a little bit of Jalen and Josh. They're both excited to be with each other. Then we see Brittany and Will at the end of the night. I think by the end of the night, he had loosened up a little bit more. And then that's when he said, there's chemistry there. I adore her smile and her dimples. And he gave it a 20 out of 10. Hmm.
This is with Brittany and Will, right?
Yeah.
She also shared that he has a lot of opinions. I'm like,
Yeah. Which I think we could see that coming.
yeah,
All right. Episode 3.
okay.
All right. So I don't have much on Pat and Rhonda initially. It seems like they had a great night. They're prepping for
Mm-hmm.
the honeymoon. He said the little thong joke thing
Mm-hmm.
that had me cracking up. He's like,
They're both a hoot. I
"Oh,
just, yeah, they're both.
okay." Brittany and Will, just to get them out of the way, I noted that he said, "You have a voluptuous noggin."
And this is the beginning I noticed, and I didn't write down each time. I think of Will like
Oh,
saying little playful things about
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah.
And I wrote, here we go again. Y'all don't know each other like that.
Yeah.
So I get you trying to lighten the mood or whatever, but we always see it go left. Where,
Yeah, this is where she said she's noticing that he has a lot of opinions,
mm-hmm.
which is interesting. Anyway, Megan and Derek, I guess, he had a nightmare, I guess, and woke up in the middle
Yeah,
of the night screaming
that had to be an experience.
for
You
her,
just,
yeah.
yeah, you just meet a person and it's all that. Huh?
And last but not least, Josh and Jalen, and then we'll do Belinda and Chad's
Mm-hmm.
wedding, and then go on to episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I said Josh be laying it on thick, but I'm not mad at it. He said she's
Mm-hmm.
the most beautiful woman, and I said that's right.
And it feels genuine now. Josh, don't play in our face. It better be.
Who is our? I haven't said.
I think you agreed that he seemed genuine even at the wedding.
I liked
You
his
did.
reactions. You did.
You
Okay.
did.
Give me
Don't
the
try to
truth
walk it
there.
back.
You don't know that I said that.
Oh, we're gonna let's go back on this recording. But this is where they have the conversation on the post nup. So he says, "Hey, I really didn't want to have to talk about this. Obviously, the mood has been good, but my business partner, he don't say I. He's like my business partner basically wants whoever my potential new wife would have been to sign a post nup. And y'all are strangers.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I just think, she needs to not sign blindly because this might
Okay.
be something that lasts for a long time. So I just would want her to get somebody to take a look at it before she signs it. But I think it's perfectly reasonable.
I think it's reasonable as well. She says, I have my own career. I don't intend on collecting your income. And yeah, that's that's that.
Just make sure you're covered, girl. Just like he's making
Hmm.
sure he's covered, which again
Hmm.
is reasonable. All right, so they had a great time growing their relationship at her mom's wedding, and then they ended up
Hmm.
consummating. All right,
Yep.
now on to Chad and Belinda. Chad is
Oh.
54, Belinda is 47, and she is Jalen's mom. Um,
Hmm. She's pretty.
she is a pretty woman. Pull out just a little bit. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
All right, and so I don't know. Chad is a little bit of a question mark for me.
Okay.
This is his fourth marriage. And I think in the matchmaking portion, he said something like, and I'm not an a hole, I can be an a hole. And I think anybody who says that already starts off questionable for me because I want to know, okay, say more. What does that mean? And then, he said it'll be his fourth marriage, but he doesn't necessarily say why the marriages ended. Like, there's no accountability in what he said. He said something like, well, my default is to protect somebody and I'm always doing stuff for them. Okay, so did you initiate the divorce? Were they unwilling? Like, what's
I
going on?
feel like he also said something else. I didn't write it down that alluded to him kind of being a savior or the one to like pick people up or clean them
Yeah.
up. And so was that all three times? Okay.
Right. Exactly. And so if it happened all three times, who's to say it
Why
wouldn't
now?
happen the
What's
fourth? Yeah.
different? And the daughter even asked, I think, what makes you think that you're ready now?
Yeah.
What changed?
I did enjoy his relationship with his daughter, though. I thought that was the one of the first positive things that he had going for him, for me. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I liked it. Belinda, she was saying, that she just wants this to be it for her. She said a lot. Some people can do many weddings, and she shaded J Lo a little bit, but she said she wanted her a little thickums. And
Yeah,
that's
she
what,
said, I want a big dog.
yeah, he could wrap his arms around me and all the things. So, yeah, I think they definitely gave her what she wanted.
So for Belinda, I wonder, this is her second chance at love.
Hmm.
She gets married at 18, has three children, was in that through raising her kids. And so, she's been out in the dating world maybe for 5 to 7 years. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But I think starting a relationship with someone so young, I'm not saying you don't have a choice, but 18 is not, I think, developed, at least in modern times, I think, to be making such a big decision on who you spend the rest of your life with. And then now she's kind of entrusting, other people to pick her person again. I'm not saying she didn't pick her first
Hmm.
husband, but I was like, like, I don't know if I had
Hmm.
married someone super young, I finally know who I am and all of the growth and development that has happened.
Hmm.
Um, I'm like, I would just roll the dice on myself
Hmm.
the next go round. I also thought, okay, who signed up for this first, Belinda or Jalen?
But then they showed the clip. So it was
Yeah.
Jalen. And so I'm like, okay, did Belinda sign up at all? Or did it happen the way that the editing suggests, where 2 weeks ago Pastor Kyle offered it to her? What
Right.
happened?
So was this well thought out? Or were you just like, I don't know,
YOLO.
she's also still pretty young. So say when she applies, she's only 46. So I'm like,
Would it have been a whole year? But still, 46. I could
yeah,
see a 46, 47-year-old doing this, though. I
yeah.
could.
A person who got married at 18 and had all,
She's been single for a little bit, so she knows what the
yeah,
dating pool has. And if it's not for her, like what she's been seeing out there, maybe it doesn't work for her. But she's okay after a few years of betting on herself, letting the experts
yeah.
do it. That's how I would see it. But
But I think also because we find out that this is his fourth
fourth,
marriage, I'm like, girl, you leaving it
alarming,
up to the experts to
alarming,
find your
alarming.
person.
Yeah. Anyways,
Also something the daughter says on the wedding day, so we can jump to the wedding day.
which daughter? His?
His daughter, I'm sorry, where she describes him as being stubborn. And so I don't know. It's
I want to. Can we bring Chad's wives to the front?
Please jump to the
Call Keisha
phone.
Knight Pulliam. Give us an after party with Chad's three ex-wives, and let's
Because
see.
he literally said, I've always been saving people in relationships. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
He said, my default is to protect somebody. I'm always doing stuff for them. But okay, first time I get it. Second time maybe, but the third time you fell into the same trap.
And if you're always saving someone and they kind of have a come up within the relationship, why is it ending?
What if he assumes he's saving people and they're just like, you're just inserting your stuff into things that I already have handled, or and maybe that's where the issue comes from. We just need to know more about why those relationships ended to be fully on board with Chad, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so at the wedding, I'm so happy that Belinda got to wear a wedding dress because she talked about her being
Hmm.
so young that she couldn't. She looks beautiful. He recites his vows from memory and does a great job. I think that's
Hmm.
great. And then, they pick up on his like dad jokes that he's saying out of
Hmm.
nerves, or maybe that's just him. But he goes, "She didn't punch me, so that's a great start." Okay.
I wrote when he was getting dressed, I got more outgoing
Mm.
energy from him, and then when at the altar and then after, maybe nerves. He was saying the dad jokes, but I also just got a different energy from him. It was a little awkward to me, so I think he was just maybe nervous, thinking like, is she gonna like what
She's
I
seeing.
look like, and vice versa? Because even later in the reception, I think both kids asked like, well, do you like what you see, or what did you think?
And
And
Belinda
so
was saying that she didn't know how he felt about her looks, like, because he had never said anything.
yeah, he never said anything
And so,
to
but
her
I,
directly.
as an audience, we kind of see that he's interested in what she looks like. But I'm like, okay,
Right.
she hasn't heard that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I also liked the dynamics between her and her kids, the fact that she could say that to them, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how he feels about me. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
cute. So I like this mother-daughter duo because it's them.
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that every season, but these two so far, a yes for me.
Yeah. So then Belinda, I think she goes to sit with, were those his sisters?
Okay, that's I said, who are these women? His sisters? I missed it.
Cousins. We're just gonna say they're cousins. I don't know. But
That's
so
fine.
they share with her about the three previous marriages. So I
Mm.
don't even think he's had a chance to
To
say, I
tell
said,
her.
dang.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
mean,
like
the
he should have
kids asked
delivered that.
though. The kids asked.
Mhm.
Jalen was like, "Oh, three marriages. Okay. All right. It's a lot. It's a lot."
And and then they say it's going to, the cousins that is, say that it's going to take a strong person to break through all the hurt and to get past all the jokes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like if that conversation went how we heard it,
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't a whole lot positive that was said.
Yeah.
So maybe more was said and they just had to cut it down. But I was just like, if that's all y'all have to say, if I were Belinda, I wouldn't walk away with much hope.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, and now we go to the honeymoon, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
they showed us that the brides had met
Yeah.
each other, the grooms had met each other. Honeymoon. And
They're
this
in
is
Panama,
where
by the
episode
way.
3 ends off. So Brittany and Will. So the first time we see her on honeymoon, she's gonna wear a nice little outfit for him. And the next morning, we don't see her in the nice outfit. Like, we see her in the PJs, and so we know something has gone wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know, something happened where they got physical. They were being a little vague, so I wasn't sure if it was like all the way physical or like.
It sounded like it was. So she says that we got intimate, but we weren't sure that we took all of the necessary precautions and it put a damper on the evening.
Yeah.
It created a situation where I think they both were like, oh crap. And things got weird because he responded in a certain way that made her feel a way.
Regret and
Um,
distance.
yeah, she didn't like his response. She felt like he regretted it. And he says, or when I say regretted it, meaning regretted getting intimate. And he says, I'm still figuring you out. I'm still here for you. It's only been a couple days. And that's where basically episode 3 ends. And then we go
Yeah.
to episode 4.
I thought their communication about it was very calm and caring. Like, if you have to talk about something this difficult, I think I would prefer to see it in as calm of a manner as they handled it. But I see what she means, because at the end of their conversation in this episode, he ended up repeating that I think we should slow down things. So I can
Mm-hmm.
understand how it feels to accelerate in that way, in a very vulnerable way with somebody, and then they pull back, and you're like, okay, wait, is the pullback because you don't like me? Like, what is going on here? So I think it adds to the, I don't want to say the mystery of Will, but
I think we need to know. Well, we don't need to know because it's actually none of our
not our
business.
business.
But because we're talking about it, we need to know kind of how did she react, because the way he described it was, well, hey, let's not even do this, because from my point of view, if I was to piece together what happened is they had sex, didn't use the protection,
Hmm.
and there was obviously unprotected sex could lead to a baby. She's freaking out like, oh my gosh, like we didn't intend for this to happen, as far as like the oops. And he's like, well, if we're not ready for a oops, then we shouldn't be getting physical in
Hmm.
that way. And so on one hand, I could see her saying like, yes, this could feel like rejection, like, do you not want me? Do you not want to be intimate with me? On the other hand, because she shares later on her expectations of how he should have responded, being like, oh, but we're in this together and I still love you and it's not a problem. I think from his perspective is if we're doing things that could lead to a pregnancy that we both agree that we're not ready for, then let's take this off the table and let us progress more emotionally and mentally. But the problem is it's all connected. And
Yes, but
so,
also I think if that was a scenario, which they haven't
yeah, they
said,
haven't
I
said.
want them to, but I like your scenario, so let's run with it. Um, I could see a better response, or a response that might have been better received, being okay, well, we're gonna be physical, but let's make sure that we take the precautions next time.
Hmm. And see, this is where I think,
He don't read the room.
well, yeah, he don't read the room, but I think she's on to him not really being into her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think his response to her solidified that. Like,
Yeah.
even if a mistake happened, would you pull all the way back? But at the same time, if you know y'all really ain't
Why
ready
did
for
you
no
say, but
baby,
at the same time?
like I don't know that honestly that might be my reaction. Like maybe we just need to stop playing with fire.
Oh Lord.
But I think it's solidifying some of what we thought about him. Like he's
Iffy.
saying a lot of things,
Yeah, he's
but he not
questionable.
really into this girl. Y'all let us
Um,
know.
yeah, you guys let us know what is your read on Will? 'Cause I don't think we have one. But let's go to episode 4, because they start off like that,
Oh yeah.
and she's, trying to make sure that she doesn't let that ruin her day, or ruin
Mm-hmm.
their day. So they get their massage. He pulls out a chair, compliments her,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, their dinner was a little bit awkward. And
It was
so,
very dry. She was just like, like you could tell she still feels away.
well, I don't, because they're so early on, I'm like, I don't know that she's really feeling him personality wise.
Oh yeah, I think she's not feeling him personality wise. I think
Yeah.
she's sensing some of what we're sensing. Like, is this guy even into me? But I do think she did want to continue the physical aspect with him.
Yeah, continue
Yeah.
exploring that. Yeah. So she said, I'll let him take the lead, which for a person like him, I think it's just not going to work, because he doesn't know how to read the room, and I don't know that he will take initiative in the way that she would want. I don't know that he would take initiative in the way that makes her feel reassured or comforted.
And because of what she shared about her previous relationships,
Hmm.
um, I think she's whether she's not sure of him and whatever, I
Reading
think
him now.
she's yeah, I think she's taken the stance of I'm going to become distant before he can become distant. Or in case he is not all mentally into this, I think she's going into a bit of a protection mode as well.
Which I don't even think it's a bad idea. Just because, like, if these were people who had been in a longer relationship where there was a lengthier track record, I would be like,
Hmm.
girl, don't go into protective mode, whatever. But in this
Hmm.
case, I'm kind of for it, because we don't know where he stands.
Well, he's like, I've tried to reassure you that I'm still in it. We're still taking time to get to know each other. And I think in this sit down, is this where they go back and forth about the questions and her not asking deeper questions? Is that sit
I think
down?
later on, yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
the same dinner. Can I just
Mm-hmm.
point out something? Because the camera person put the camera on her hands being across her lap,
Mm-hmm.
I said he needs a dating coach. At this point, maybe like reach out and touch her hand. He needs me. Call me. I don't even have dating coach services, but maybe I could create some on the side.
But
Just
that only
something
works if you're actually into that
into the
person.
person. Yeah.
So people who aren't into you
But
aren't touching you.
but I also feel like he is the level of I don't know what to describe him as, but I
Mm.
don't, even if in his head he liked this woman, I don't know that he's the type of affectionate I'm just not getting those types of vibes
Mhm.
from him.
Is it the lack of affection or the lack of effort?
All of the above, attention, effort, social cues.
Yeah. So I don't know if we just want to talk about all of their scenes all at once just to get them out
Yeah,
of the way.
yeah,
But
yeah. And
I
sorry, you
think
wanted to talk about the questions too. My bad.
yeah, so is I think this is after they go and meet up with the men and women separately. They're
Hmm.
on the balcony, and she says, I want to talk more. I want to go deep. He says, that he's reserved, but he also says, like, you haven't asked me many questions. And he says, I'm actually more intentional with the questions that I ask you. And she says, yeah, but you're more intentional with the questions you ask. But then when you answer my questions, they're vague and you're
Hmm.
so indifferent about everything. I
Yeah.
said, oh my God, like, call it quits now. Y'all are exhausting me.
And the thing that's exhausting is like I can see her really trying to figure this out. And for him, I think he's so indifferent that nothing even matters at all. He's on his Lauren Hill and D'Angelo. And I think I put down, you can't be indifferent about everything when you're getting to know a person. Like they need you to have an opinion. Like, oh, what do you like to eat for breakfast? Anything is good. Okay, well now I don't know anything about you. So if I were to surprise you with a breakfast or go to brunch with you, I don't know what type of thing you want. So he needs to, and it's not to say that she's perfect, but I think I see an effort in her that I don't see in him. I see a nonchalantness in him
Mm.
that isn't fun to watch.
I agree. He is very nonchalant. And I think for him, he thinks that because he's the one initiating maybe more compliments and questions, because I will say we have seen him asking questions. I think the flip side is he is giving vague answers. So you're asking all these deep questions according to you. Say you are. Say, we'll give him that. But then to keep the conversation going, you have to give more intentional answers. And so from her, I could say, yeah, we may have seen her asking maybe more surface level questions, but maybe in an attempt to lead up to deep questions. Like she's not just jumping straight into it. And so because he's giving her such vague answers, she's just like the whole conversation around the color of the dress. Oh, I thought you were going to say, well, she was like, yeah, it's orange. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to say it's coral.
Well, it's not Coral.
Well, it's not.
So, no, I wouldn't say that.
Ugh.
Okay. No, okay. I think and this could go into the questions. I think every time she feels like, oh, maybe I figured it out. So, for example, okay, he maybe doesn't want to go as deep as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask him some lighthearted questions leading up to the deep ones. Okay, well, then that doesn't work. Now you're saying I'm not asking deep questions. Or I think after the meetup with Megan, and the
Mm-hmm.
other women, but specifically Megan, she comes back like, oh, I think I have an understanding of what's going on now. And like, so I just need to adapt to that. And so she
Mm.
comes with this like clarity, and he's like, no, that's not it. Actually, you're the problem. It's because you're not asking the questions you need to ask. What? And then she gave him examples of the conversations that she had
Mm-hmm.
initiated and what the problem was with him,
Mm-hmm.
so I just see her, I see her, yes, pulling back to protect herself, but not in a disengaged way, in more of a, okay, I'm still going to put effort here, but maybe I'm not as 100% as I was when we were strangers, where they're still strangers, but like
Yeah.
newer
And
strangers.
yeah. Um Also, so she says, "Oh, I'm gonna go shower once the conversation is going nowhere." But she actually leaves to go get her a quick snack. And so the producers are asking Will, are you not gonna go get her to follow up on the conversation? And he's just like, "I'm not gonna go chase her. I'm not gonna go get her."
Did
She
he
didn't
say
even say,
that?
yeah. He was like,
Okay, because
she
I
said
didn't write
she,
that down, so I'm like,
yeah. he said, she knows where I'm at. She said she was gonna go shower. She didn't even say she was leaving. And so he says she lacks self-awareness and thinks she knows it all.
Which is
If
so
we
crazy
if
coming from him.
if we had any question on if this man liked this woman, there's your answer.
Mm,
Even if any part of him thought that I'm going to salvage this, I'm sorry.
that's not how
To
you do
get on international television after only knowing someone for 2 days or a day, really, and say that they lack self awareness and they think they know it all, and this is all of what's happened.
it. Mhm. But I don't think she lacks self-awareness, by the way. Like I just
Whether she did or didn't, the
yeah.
fact that he said it,
Yeah. And
that's
honestly, the
crazy.
thing that he could have been upset about in this instance, he at least doesn't verbalize that he's upset about it. I could understand, oh, I'm going to take a shower and now
And
I
she
come and
leaves.
you're
Oh,
nowhere
yeah.
to be found. It's like, okay, what
And I
gives?
didn't fault him for being like, no, I'll just wait until she comes back. She
Yeah.
may clearly want her space. Now, I would say maybe text her, hey, let me know you're
Mhm.
safe and how you're moving around the resort. But I could get with him being like, oh, she said one thing, she's doing another. But I
Mhm.
will say, I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. If a man really was into you, he would have came and found you. So,
Especially at the beginning. Okay, I didn't want to say it, but I think at the beginning, because you know why though? Because they feel like they have someone to impress. And
hmm
maybe he thinks he's impressive enough that he doesn't have to try, but no, you're still trying to like romance me, win me over. Like you're still trying to make sure I get to know the best sides of you, even in this process. So
but I don't think he
come on.
cares.
Till this day, listen, I don't care how many years I've been in. It's really when I'm upset, yeah, I do expect you to come find me. And if you don't, now I'm even
Yeah.
more hurt.
Yeah. Between him, I could be like, all right, fine. Just text her your ego, whatever.
Yeah.
But to say she like based off what we've seen, it's basic. I don't know. For me, I took it as a bit of a jab that I just don't think you should take towards your spouse
I don't
so
think you should.
publicly.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should take it towards your spouse. I also don't think you should take it towards a stranger, which this
No.
person is both of those to you
If
still.
you actually had respect for that person and a genuine feeling of let's get to the bottom of this, maybe it was the tone in which he said it. I don't know. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we want
Megan
to
and
do
Derek.
Megan and Derek because we have
hmm
the most on them?
Yeah, so this, I think they have a scene where they're laying out by the pool. She just keeps reiterating, how she's happy, that things are so light and fun, and that they have a while to go deep. So,
Yeah, I'm getting flirty vibes from them. You know,
mm-hmm,
eating her the papaya, whatever. Um, I don't know. I think the honeymoon is for it to be light, but I also put down that I think there's opportunity for both. Given this situation, I think it's a mixture of having fun together, but also, oh, let me get to know you a little bit, you know?
light but not boring.
Yes, but
Because,
go ahead.
I, like, I'm not saying that they need to have these super deep conversations that
Yeah,
may take you on an emotional roller coaster. No,
yeah.
it's your honeymoon. But I don't know. I just get a little bit of boring vibes from her. Like, he's initiating the conversations. She's not, there's no tag team to keep it going.
You think
And
she's just not the
so
most conversationalist? Is that what you're saying?
that's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Again, in this episode, she talks about, I like to give up control in my personal life because in my work life, I'm so in control. And I think that could be true. I also think sometimes people say they want that, but you're very seldom two different people. Yes, we compartmentalize, but the way that I am at work shows up in how I am
hmm
shows up in my personal life and vice versa because I'm the same person. There's only so long that I'm going to be in a workspace that you don't see my goofy personality because I can't not be that. or that I
Yeah.
like to be strategic and plan things out. So I think maybe she's overestimating, and we'll need to come to a balance of how much control she wants to relinquish.
Yeah, and you're a fully independent adult who's
Yeah.
been making all the decisions in their personal life, from the type of couch I'm going to get to
Mhm.
how much I spend on groceries. I don't know. I think it sounds good maybe for her in theory, but
Yeah.
I think in implementation, I'm not that convinced.
Yeah, and he said, "Well, I like to lead. I like to take the lead both in work and in personal." He's like, "Oh, I'm totally fine with that." I said, "Girl, don't be too quick to say that. Do not be too quick to say that." Uh, and then this is where he starts to feel like he's not getting asked questions back. So,
Yeah, I think she's awkwardly quiet. I'm not saying you have to fill every space,
yeah.
but I do think she is more on the quieter side. And it could be because she hasn't been dating like that. She's used to either working or being home by herself and in her own energy. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong
Mm-mm.
with that, but I think where it becomes a problem is the extrovert feeds off the energy of that interaction. And so that's why for him it's a problem because she's almost too quiet. I think for her, when she thinks of an extrovert, she's like, yeah, I'd love someone to get me out of the house more. No, introverts are more than that, baby.
They, they don't turn it off, love.
They need conversation. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and interactions. So,
Stimulation
mm-hmm.
and all the other shins that we shall not name. But no, then they go to the boys' hangout, and he
Mm-hmm.
hears about Pat and Rhonda's situation, which we'll get into with them.
Mm-hmm.
And, he starts to feel, I think, encouraged to bring it to her that, hey, I do want us to talk a little bit, which you just never know how these things are going to go in a new situation. So I was holding my breath a little bit. Um, but
But
I'm
I had
glad that he
hope.
brought it to her. Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
glad he brought it to her. But, and I had hope based off her reaction to what Brittany was saying. And she was like, oh, yeah, I am the more quiet one. And he is asking more questions. So I'm like, you know this about yourself.
Hmm.
So to my surprise, when he brings it to her, she gets defensive about it.
Yeah. She said she felt ambushed. And okay, I can
Mm,
see why she felt ambushed, because for her things were going well and he liked the laid back nature of it as much as she did in her head.
yeah, in her head.
Right, in her head. And so, but so her feeling ambushed didn't have anything to do with him. It just had
Yeah.
everything to do with her misreading the situation. I can understand why she was in her feelings. I would say you can't stay in your feelings for too long though. Like, if you misread the situation, take the L. It's okay. It's okay.
And to me, when she's acknowledging to the girls, like even if she had it in her head one way, you talk to the girls and you're like, you know what? No, I understand it because that's more me. So then when your partner brings it to you, I think for her, she jumped to, whoa, I thought everything was fine. But that's typically how it is.
I think when she was with the girls, she how do I say this? She could identify with Will in Brittany's situation, but I don't think she could have, or she imagined that how Brittany was feeling is how Derek was feeling. So
Mm.
I don't think she was relating to Brittany and Will's situation. I think she was relating to Will one on one.
But then
And
how do you explain where she's like, oh, but you don't ask me any questions either? It's like, girl,
did she say that in that, or did she
she
say,
did. Yeah, she
okay,
did. Yeah, she was
let me
saying
look
that
at it.
he hasn't been asking her questions. And so I'm like, girl, what reality are we in?
So what I have for when she said that he's not asking questions, I think that she was trying to say, like, as a couple, we're not asking each other those questions yet because we're just taking it light.
So
But
she wasn't
maybe
counting
I'm
the questions that he was asking.
misremembering.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
that's
I can see what you're saying. Like in her mind, you're not asking super deep questions, so they don't count.
so it's okay that I'm not really.
Right. But he's just trying to have general conversation with her.
Yeah.
And in his mind, he's like, I'm trying to get there. I'm doing
I
something.
mean, we could see it. Obviously, it's edited for us to see it that
Yeah,
way,
but
but
we
I
can
can kind of
see.
see it. Like you could see him looking over, like, okay, you gonna ask me or
Yeah, we're gonna keep the conversation going.
cool.
Yeah,
Let's
I think she did get defensive, but I don't. When you're so new, I could see where if they're coming to you and you thought everything was fine, you
yeah.
feel like, but I thought everything was fine. It's like, yeah, that's usually how it goes. You're out and about with your partner, you frolicking throughout the day, and then you get home and they're like, actually, you had said something that I didn't like. And they're like, what? I thought we had a good day.
I thought you were eating ice cream with me. Remember when we had agreed that the best flavor?
Yeah, but see, before that, you was getting on my nerves.
I
Mhm.
I can be oblivious, so I don't, I get it. We can all
Okay.
be, so. But
All right, you want to
anyway,
talk Jalen and Josh?
yeah, was that it? Oh, I just wanted, since we
Mm.
talked a lot about Megan, I do want to say that I thought that Derek handled it in the best possible way. I don't
Yeah.
have any notes for how he handled it, so kudos to him. And I think it was just
Mm-hmm.
it's just a hard thing to do, that first conflict, to be the one initiating
Mm-hmm.
it. So I like Derek so far. I don't know that I've said that, but I kind of
I
like him.
like him. I don't know that I like him and Megan together.
No, but
Mm-hmm.
listen, you're the CEO of a health and wellness company. Surely somebody else in Austin might catch your eye if this doesn't work. But it's too
Mm-hmm.
early to say that it won't work. Anyway,
Okay.
so Jalen and Josh, and then you want to end
Mm-hmm.
on? Do we end on Pat and Rhonda?
Yeah, let's end on. Well,
We
yeah,
still
Chad
have
and
them.
Belinda is very quick, so we'll do them and then Pat and Rhonda last.
Okay, cool.
And so the only thing I had on Josh and Jalen, most of this episode, they're in nature, doing all the
Hmm.
sightseeing of the things.
Hmm.
He upgrades her ring. It looks beautiful. Great.
Hmm.
But I wonder, is their relationship going to be a thing of like now she has to get on board with all the naturey, outdoorsy things
Okay.
that he wants to do? Which I don't think doing things with your partner is a problem, but I'm like, if she don't like being out in nature like that, like do an activity that appeals to her. I don't know.
Wow, it's almost like you're my best friend or something because like
Um, I
I
was just
felt
like, get this woman in the spa. What is going
and that
on?
was the thing. Okay, so the first day they have this conversation about Burning Man, and he's like, because once you go there, I had never heard of Burning Man, but apparently once you go there, you have to commit to it. And so I'm like, You might want to give her ticket to somebody else because it doesn't seem like something that she would enjoy, and it's okay for her to have different interests. Y'all can find something else that y'all can do together. And he
Mm-hmm.
says with confidence, "Oh, I know once you're there, you're gonna have fun." As a person who is not the most outdoorsy, if I'm telling you this is something that I won't enjoy outdoors, I know for a fact I'm not going to enjoy it. Don't tell me, oh, being at, like, how when people want to convince people who don't love pets, like, oh, having a
Mm-hmm.
pet is fun. It's like, no, I'm telling you, I won't enjoy a pet. I don't care how cute it is. I don't want to be around this pet. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
felt about this situation. She probably won't enjoy it. And so stop trying to put her out of her comfort zone. So when the second day came and he did another outdoor activity and he said
Mm-hmm.
something like, "Oh, I just love to see Jalen outside of that comfort zone of hers." I said, okay, it, you can't keep doing that. Like it's up to her to decide if she wants to step outside of her comfort
Mm-hmm.
zone. And it's called a comfort zone because we like to be comfortable and it's okay to be comfortable sometimes, like not every day out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Some days right within my comfort zone in the comfort of it, like so
Yeah. And it's not your job
it's not
to show up in her life to expose her to adventure.
you are
Yeah,
not her
no.
savior. You are not her, like it's up to her. If she decides, okay, I don't mind doing a little this or
Mm-hmm.
that. Like I thought she did an exceptional job being a good sport.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you can't expect that from her all the time. So the next time we see them, my good sis better be in a spa.
Or
And
whatever.
I did love her ring.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And I don't think I it seems like he did it from a very genuine place, right? So
Mm-hmm.
no critique there.
Mm-hmm.
I just also see how, you know, if he continues down this road, it could
Mm-hmm.
very much come off as like the Josh show where he's the one who's prescribing what she should do, what she should have, how she should move, and
Mm.
expecting her to go along with it. And so I don't know if that pattern continues, how on board with this couple I could be.
Okay, I see that. I'd hope that like before he went and got the ring, he asked her like what shape, do you want? So that she was at least included in some part of something. I don't know, maybe he asked her mom like what's her favorite shape or whatever. But yeah, I'd hope that he'd done that by
And
now, but
even
we
if
don't
he,
know.
yeah, and even if he didn't, it just so happened that, she thought the ring was beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not going to be the case every single time. Like sometimes she might want to have input, and it's not that she's ungrateful. It's just that, okay, let me put a little bit of me in it. And so for her, I think maybe not now, but if that pattern continues, I would hope that that's
Mm-hmm.
something that she could spot. It's just like, yeah, yes, the gift that you
Yeah.
you do well for yourself. So yeah, you might get me the red Birkin, but dang, I actually wanted these Louboutins instead. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
No, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, so he's not making all these executive
decision.
decisions
Yeah,
for her. Yeah.
but so far so good. I'm just saying those are the things that I would be mindful of.
Get this girl out of nature. That's
Please.
all I can say.
I'm sorry for
Okay.
her. Okay, Belinda and Chad. So they had gotten new rings before they left, but they went to the store together.
Yeah, they
Before
went
okay.
together and she got her a ring. It
Mhm.
looks good.
And then
I
they go
don't
hat
have
shopping in this episode.
Yeah, they just go hat shopping, they're frolicking around. She just shares that she wants to see more of his romantic side. And I felt like that was her nice way of saying, okay, the jokes are cute and you being silly, but
Yeah.
I'm looking for more romantic energy from you. And he said,
Yeah.
I can get with it. So we'll see.
She also mentioned like I don't want you to think you have to keep buying me stuff. So it seems like he's
Oh yeah, with the ring and the
and
hat.
the hat. So it seems
Okay.
like he's very willing to spend the
Mm-hmm.
money. Like he said, he likes to take care of people. But she's
Mm-hmm.
like, you don't have to always buy me things. Like I'm here to
Mm-hmm.
get to know you. Okay. And
Yeah.
now Pat and Rhonda.
So I think we start off with them eating breakfast on their
Hmm.
balcony, and he's sharing his love of space and flying. I
His
think they
love of
talk about
everything.
yeah, they talk about movies. He talks being into documentaries, and she was like, "Okay, I'll watch a few with you, but it's not really my jam." I think also in that conversation, she shares how she leaves her TV on because her house got broken into.
She's like,
What?
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway.
speaking of house getting broken into, have you seen that movie where somebody's house like just goes right on past it? And you know what I think? Pat was married for 30 years, maybe always has somebody to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been single for 3, and maybe he just misses having that company, like somebody to banter and like well, there's not much banter going on because it's just him talking, but maybe he missed that energy of having somebody to talk to, and so now that
Yeah.
he has Rhonda and he's so excited about her, it's like, ugh, I'm just gonna keep talking.
Yeah, so she shares with him that, it's great hearing about you, but there's no follow-up questions for her,
Hmm.
and it's bothering her. And
Yeah.
so my initial thought is, yes, I think he's not done a good job of asking her questions or him just moving the conversation forward just by continuing to talk about himself.
Hmm.
I think it's also a little bit of Rhonda's a big personality too and also likes to talk about herself. So I think we have two people who love talking about themselves. And I think they've both probably met their match. I agree he's done too much in terms of not reciprocating interest. But I also think Rhonda also likes to take up a lot of space. And so
Interesting.
now she's met her match of another person who likes to take up a lot of space. And now I don't know how y'all are going to divide it.
So she does the right thing and communicates that to him. She when she asked him what's something that you've noticed about me that's surprising, and he said nothing comes to mind. I mean, maybe nothing did come to mind. Shoot, it's
Girl, she needs to let that one go because she already forgot that man once. So y'all are 1-1.
several times.
Yeah,
What's his name? Peter?
girl.
So
Anyway.
anyway, she tells him, and he was defensive about it. I wish he would have just said, "Oh, I hadn't noticed that," but he didn't. He got defensive. I think she handled
Hmm.
it well though. Like even her reassuring him, like, "Hey, I really like you, so I'm not criticizing you. I just want to get to know you a bit more." I think that was really good. Where I think she went wrong
Mm-hmm.
is when she went into coach mode a little bit. So they start having a conversation,
Hmm.
and then he takes it back onto him. She's like, okay, well, so see what you just did there? Well, what you did was, da, da, da. Which, I mean, he had to know. So a part of me doesn't fault her.
But the way the conversation went, what he said didn't like automatically flip
It
it.
wasn't fully on him. Like,
Yeah,
she
it
could have
wasn't
kept the
fully. He
conversation
was
going.
just interacting with her. So I don't know if her expectation is when she's talking, let the focus be on me and my answers, and I'll pick it up where I see fit. But I can't see her being like, well, I just told you this is what I'm looking for. So I don't know. All he said was, she was like, oh, I went by the name Jennifer. And he was like, oh, well, me and the boys never did that. Like, we never gave ourselves other names. And that was all he said before she was like, see, I don't know. Isn't that how conversations are
Wait.
supposed
No,
to
no, no.
work?
I thought it could have gone either way. Like I do think
Like,
he didn't do a good job of maybe following up with a question or whatever. Because there was
mhm.
a little bit of a space before she said, "I'm gonna just say whatever she said." But yeah, I don't think he was trying to make it about himself. Yeah,
No, I think he was just
just
having
engaging.
a little banter and engaging and showing, hey, I'm interested, versus when he was talking, she was just kind of sitting there like,
The way they edited it had me cracking up. One of the things that I found interesting though was that her mom was the breadwinner in their
mm-hmm,
home because her dad was sick. That was why.
mm-hmm.
But then in her first marriage, it's almost like she recreated those dynamics with the person who she chose. But except he wasn't sick. He just didn't want to work.
And
And
I don't even know, like, because she said, like, oh, I met him. 3 months later, we were married. And then they had their 4 kids back to back to back to back.
Mhm.
So even in her, like, I think she recreated her situation, but
Oh,
it sounds like things happen so quickly that, like, probably by the time she looked up, it's like, was it the fourth child that you realized?
yeah, there was this lady who made an video on the internet a few weeks ago. I saw it. I don't know if I'll be able to find it now, but she was saying something like she came out of an abusive relationship, and some days it just hits her, wow, I have 4 kids. She said while she was in that relationship, it was almost like she was sleepwalking. Like she knew she had four
Mm,
kids, but now it's like, whoa, I have four children. And so,
I could see that.
yeah,
Especially if you're having kids back to back and they're small, like when you're in
yeah,
the
I can
throes of
imagine.
the caregiving years,
Hmm.
mostly, like when they're
Hmm.
super small, age 0 to 5.
You're
If
just
you have a
going,
lot of kids from 0 to 5, I could see it hitting you later when like the real like parenting, like you're not caregiving as much as you
yeah,
are parenting to where you're like, whoa, I have like, you have humans the whole time, but I can see it hitting you different
yeah.
once they're older.
And then they do the romantic spiritual exercise, and I thought he did
Hmm.
a really nice apology for her there, and I was like, I just didn't
Hmm.
realize, and so it's like, okay, Pat, you're all right with me.
Yeah, even through this honeymoon, I don't know. I appreciated her speaking her mind. I just think they're both a lot. she's just a little bit more, and I think she's going to be the one to maybe be more vocal.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to hear, will Pat speak up to talk about the
I think
things
he
that
will.
you think so?
Just because of
Mm.
the age. At this point, I think, come on, old people they be speaking their minds. They do, and
Or is he going to be caught up from the physical of it all?
yeah. So do you want to do predictions really quickly? Who you
Oh,
think will say yes
okay,
on decision
yeah.
day?
Yeah,
Okay, let's start with Pat and Rhonda.
no.
Dang, this is I was gonna be optimistic for them.
I want them to work, but I think it's more physical, and I think it's initial energy. I don't know that it's practical. I think both of these people are pretty set in their ways and what they're looking for.
Well, I'm gonna say yeah.
Yes.
Mhm. I'm gonna
Okay.
say yes.
If you're gonna say yes, stand on business and say yes.
It's a yes for me, dog. Pat and
Okay.
Rhonda, they're gonna be a yes.
Okay. Belinda and Chad.
Ugh,
I want it to be a yes.
I do too.
I really like Belinda, but with
I
Chad,
think
I
it's
don't know.
remarriages for me.
And the accountability part, even when the daughter was asking, so why do you feel like you're ready now? His answers were kind of like, oh well, I'm in a better place as far as my job or
Yeah,
career.
it was not. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be a no realistically.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Jalen and
Jalen and
Josh.
yeah, Jalen and Josh. I'm gonna say no.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
I'm going to say a yes because I want it to be a yes.
Okay, they're
I
your Pat and Rhonda.
I want it to be a yes. So I'll say yes.
All right
Okay.
then. Uh,
Megan and Derek.
it's a no for me.
It's a no.
No,
No.
it's a no. Brittany and
It,
Will.
it's a no. It's a no. I
Yeah,
Do
it's a
we
no.
have anybody else left?
But
Dang.
I will say, I don't think this one's on the experts. I think the experts did a pretty decent job. Now, do I question why they would let a man who's been married 3 times come on this show? Yes. But I do think the experts did these matches in good faith. And I don't think we can blame them. I think it's just human circumstances that are going to separate these people.
Yes, like with a Will and Brittany, same with maybe Megan and Derek. I
Yeah.
think on paper, in
You could not have
theory,
known. Yeah.
right. But like getting them together, personalities and just
Hmm.
energy.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. I think Pat and Rhonda probably have the best energy in terms of how they're melding together.
Hmm.
But I think it may almost end up being a bit explosive.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
too much.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
So you
yeah.
have one yes, and I
Are
have,
you five no?
huh?
Are you five no's? No, you
No,
had
I'm
one
I'm a
yes.
yes for Pat and Rhonda.
Oh,
What do you
yes for Pat
mean?
Rondo.
What's the
Okay.
respect on my couple?
Okay.
When we're the last one standing, you're gonna have to I don't know, do something. We have to put a bet on it. But yeah, all the Pat and Rhonda supporters, meet me in the comments below.
I want them I would love for them to work. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
As long as we are all agreed that Brittany and Will are gonna be a no.
It's gonna be a no. And it's
It
gonna be
should be a
hard to
no now.
watch.
But
Yeah.
anyway, we love the
Mhm.
new season so far, and we hope y'all do
Mhm.
too. Let us know in the comments all of your thoughts about these couples,
Yeah.
and we will see y'all probably day after tomorrow for
Mhm.
the Love is Blind finale. All
Yep.
right, until
All
next
right.
time, bye.
Bye.